cops out of sight downstairs.
And the plainclothesmen are in the stairwells and near the elevators.
All right, good. As soon as Sebastian Knight comes in, seal off the building, get everybody into place, all right?
Right.
I hope you know how generous I'm being with my time. I had to postpone several important engagements today.
Well, it looks like Sebastian Knight's not being quite so generous. Where is
He
he?
promised me he'd be here.
Good.
And while we're at it, would you tell me what all of this is about?
You know, it took an awful lot of energy to get you elected to Congress. But we thought you might enjoy, in retrospect, a little, little piece of documentary we put together about the campaign.
Cut that sarcasm, Redlin.
Yeah, and you cut this what's this all about business, too.
All right, gentlemen, let's at least try to maintain the pretense of civility, shall we? The fact of it is, Congressman, that we have certain evidence here that directly contradicts statements that you made during my investigation of your wife's murder.
About?
About Sebastian Knight's presence at the Perryville Dairy Conference.
Surprise?
And that so-called evidence is on the tape?
In living color, buddy.
I see.
No denials? No accusations of us bluffing?
I'm not going to say anything more till Sebastian gets here. We'll view this together.
Oh, yeah, wait until Sebastian gets here, and then you can play hurt, betrayal, anger.
Come on, Redlin. This is obviously a police matter. You shouldn't even be here.
Mr. Redlin is here at my request. He earned this. Are you really going to make us play this thing out, Congressman? This cover-up only makes you...
Wait a minute. Cover-up? I don't even know what I'm accused of, let alone being guilty of a cover-up.
You categorically stated that Sebastian Knight was by your side that morning in Perryville.
I wasn't lying. He was.
At what point? At 4 a.m. in the morning when the conference first started? What's that little thing that these lawyers always say? Silence implies consent?
My campaign manager and I, as a matter of fact, I don't see him around here just yet, do you? Sebastian, are you around anywhere? Well, I guess not. I guess he's still getting those extra 40 winks back in Kingsley.
One question, Congressman. Why did you lie to us from the beginning about Sebastian?
I'm cold.
Cold? Well, here. Let's get you warm. It's good to see you again. I love you very much. I spoke with Courtney earlier. She had another surprise for us. She wants to get married to Vaughn Sumner right away. Of course, her haste is just because she realizes that she can't see that boy in Kingsley anymore. Still, it is an indication that she finally recognizes our situation. Our situation. Phyllis, do you know me? Who am I? Phyllis, where are you? Do you know? How long has she been like this?
Well, I was going...
Answer me!
For 5 days.
5 days? Oh, my God. These spills have never lasted this long before. You went for the doctor. Where is he?
He's gone for the day.
Is this what he wanted to talk to me about?
I'm afraid it is.
Well, I want answers to questions, and I don't want to have to wait 'em. Now, you tell me what's going on here.
I must have had a dozen of these. And the telephone, every other time it rings, it's somebody calling to congratulate us on the AMA award. I don't have to tell you that. This must be only a fraction of the attention you've received.
Well, after all, I am the one getting the award.
Well, of course, and nobody is more pleased than I am.
No one ever is.
Do you remember our first meeting?
Something as momentous as that? Of course I do, Lester.
When you walked out of this office after the interview, I said to myself, that young man is destined for great things. Now, I really did.
Well, our first meeting wasn't in this office.
I beg your pardon?
No, as a matter of fact, our first meeting was in the employees' parking lot just before the interview.
It was?
Mm-hmm. You pointed out, very bluntly, that I couldn't park my car there without the proper sticker. You told me that if I didn't move it immediately, you'd have security tow it away.
Parking has always been a problem around here, hasn't it?
Only if you don't have the proper sticker.
I assume that Terry's spoken to you?
She has.
Excellent. Then I can share my good news with you. Coffee?
No, thank you.
When you take up your new duties here, you will be earning $14,000 more than when you left here.
I beg your pardon?
I thought that would impress you. Yes, an increase of $14,000 over your old salary. I don't mind telling you, the board was reluctant at first, but I convinced him of the wisdom of it. I probably shouldn't tell you this, though. But that salary puts you right up there with the best of them.
I'm sure it does.
Happy?
Lester, I came here to turn you down. Now, this generous offer makes it a little difficult, but my decision is still the same. I don't want the job.
I wasn't lying. I was telling the truth to the best of my recollection. Do you know how many of these kinds of meetings took place during the campaign? Hundreds of them. You can't expect me to know each one of them in minute detail.
This wasn't an ordinary press conference. This was your alibi for the night your wife was murdered. Yes, I expect you to remember everything about it.
Especially when you were so closely questioned about everything that happened immediately afterwards.
But I was in shock then. I was grieving over the loss of my wife. A mistake like that's understandable.
Grieving? Were you grieving on the witness stand when you lied about Sebastian, too?
Oh, by then I was confused. Don't you understand? The facts were all jumbled up. I mean, I felt it was the safest route to stay with the statements I'd made.
Repeat the lies, you mean.
What is this? Is this a conspiracy between you two? Are you trying to intimidate me into something that just wasn't so?
I am confronting you with the truth, Mr. Carruthers. I am giving you a chance to tell us what really happened. You'll notice I dropped the congressman, and so will everybody else when you're forced to resign from office.
You're guilty of 4 counts of perjury from what I can see right now, buddy.
And I'm gonna throw in complicity if I don't get some answers.
All right! Look, I had no idea he was involved until Amber told me about that second bullet in her apartment. It's the truth, I swear it.
After everything that's happened, you labeling something as the truth is hardly a recommendation.
It's what you wanted to hear, isn't it? Sebastian killed Kate.
And you deliberately covered it up.
Why?
Are you that stupid? Do I have to explain?
Yes, I am really that stupid.
Kate left me because Andrea told her about our affair. Sebastian went out to find Kate, hoping at least to get her to come back.
Yeah. And when he couldn't, he bought her silence. Is that right?
I asked him where he'd been that night. He said he was out trying to find her, but he couldn't find her. I believed him.
You believed him, but you couldn't tell us. That's pretty thin, isn't it?
No, I couldn't tell you. Because if I had, then everybody would have known that Kate had left me, and it would have cost me the election.
You lost a lot more than that doing what you did.
But at least I didn't kill Kate. The responsibility for that lies with Sebastian. And whatever else happens to me,
Don't have to worry about Sebastian. He's not gonna get away. Brubaker has his men posted at every exit. I think it's over, Lee. For both of you.
It's money, isn't it? The $14,000 increase isn't enough for you. All right. Okay. Name your price. I'll negotiate. It's obscene, but I'll string along as I can. I warn you, though, now the board may very well turn you down for this.
None of this has to do with money.
Well, what then?
I have my own reasons.
Oh, how convenient to retreat behind a smokescreen of privacy.
That is my right.
Now, I happen to think that I have a right, too, to an explanation. You have just been made an incredibly generous offer, and I think in common decency you should explain your rejection.
Lester, do you know what would have meant more to me than all this empty flattery in your bribe? An apology. A simple "I'm sorry." You see, you were wrong about my actions from the very beginning. And even Nancy Lawson, inconsiderate, impolite Nancy Lawson, had the common decency to say I'm sorry. And now with this award, the AMA has given me their stamp of approval. Everyone has, Lester, but you.
Are you saying that if I apologize, you'll reconsider?
I'm just saying that it's too late. So, no thank you, Lester.
Dr. Benson to the maternity ward. Dr. Benson to the maternity ward.
So what you're telling me is that she won't have moments of sanity anymore.
Oh, they'll be there, but fewer and further in between.
But there is no guarantee that she'll be this good for very long.
I'll be in my office if you need me.
This is a hard one to take for us. It's like losing you and not losing you. You were the only one who ever understood. I love you. I always have, and I always will. But my dear, I'm very much afraid that it is time for us to review our priorities.
Look, this is the best piece of investigative journalism that I've ever been associated with, and I am going to submit it.
Oh, well, remind me to write my acceptance speech in the morning.
Just be sure and mention your patient editor.
Yeah.
It's going to be good to have Stacy back.
Oh, yeah, hey, and Walter, do me a favor, don't pressure her either, because she's probably going to decide that she might need a little time off before she resumes the full schedule.
Come on now, Gene. When have you ever known me to pressure anybody, huh?
Oh, no, never, Walter, not you. You're the good old original easygoing Eddie.
Boy, Sebastian Knight really gave you everything, didn't he?
Yeah, that was a pretty incredible night.
You know, I'm still a little unclear about where Dave Phillips fits in. I mean, when did he get there? After Stacy?
The way I figure it, Walter, it was something like this.
Kate, where are you? Kate, get out of here. Get
So, Dave got there about 1:30.
Yeah, well, you see, the funny thing is Sebastian and Stacy arrived within a few minutes of each other. Sebastian was the last to arrive.
It was you.
You mean the person who just left? That wasn't me. I'll be a much better shot, I promise you. It's over, Kate. Too late to change what you've done. Running out on your own reception, reporters start to ask questions.
This is insane. What I did, it was right.
Right for who? Not Lee. One word to the Chronicle about Lee and Andrea and you'll lose his election. We can't let that happen, can we?
Incredible.
I don't think it's over yet.
Huh? I want to make a statement. I had absolutely no knowledge of Sebastian Knight's actions. In the past few days, I was growing suspicious. But I held those suspicions in check. I was waiting to give them free rein until I'd had a chance to confront him directly. Of course, events took such a turn as to make that unnecessary. But if I had confronted him and been unhappy with his answers, as I'm sure I would have been, I intended to go straight to the authorities with my suspicions. I have great respect for what Sebastian Knight was, and I feel deeply for his family at this time. But I have no compassion for the man who brutally took the life of the woman I loved. I only hope now that I will finally be able to adjust to my loss and continue peacefully with my life.
I have one question. When you refer to loss, are you referring to the loss of your wife?
If you'll excuse me, I've said what I came to say.
Do you want to print this?
You know, I resent having to ruin a brilliant story like that with that kind of fertilizer. All right, print it. Print it, but make sure you point out the fact that the woman he loved was murdered because she could have destroyed his campaign. And elaborate on his perjuries. And make sure you make that statement of his out to be the foul mockery of ethics that it is. And I want it in 5 minutes.